Hello everyone, I'm Larry Satchwell, and this used to be a birdhouse. Back in 2020, I started this playlist called For the Birds, and it has, I don't know how many videos on it, but a lot. This was the first project. It was a Kentucky-style bluebird house. Didn't require a drill, you just had a slot in the top, and it was made this way to prevent sparrows from building a nest in it. And I had it mounted on the bottom here with a flange, a pipe flange. It was in the ground with a 3/4 inch pipe and a pipe flange, and termites had come up through the pipe flange, and had eaten it up. And when I went to clean it out last winter, this is what I found. It was a heap on the ground. I had renovated this house one other time, so there's already 2 videos on this house. I had caulked it, and it had a lot of views. So I'm going to remake it, but I'm not going to remake it out of pine. I'm going to remake it, and I'm not going to mount it back on that flange without modifications. I have this cypress wood here that I've been collecting. At one time, this was a planter box, and I had actually made some raised beds out of these, and they were rotting pretty fast, but now they look like barnwood. And I had glued these 2 together. I'm sure there's no nails or metal in there. And so I've collected some of that, and I'm hoping I have enough here to rebuild this Kentucky-style birdhouse. It was very popular. Bluebirds nested in it, as did nuthatches, and a wren Carolina wren was the last occupant. I nailed it together. I think I'm going to screw this one together, and I'm going to use some wood glue too. So I'm going to see what I have here and how it fits, and I'm going to retrieve these leather hinges. Everybody liked those. And I'm going to retrieve the screen hook here. I've got to be careful because I don't want to get these nails or step on them. So that's what I'm going to do for the next few minutes, just try to squeeze what I can out of here and see what I've got. I think this is going to work out pretty well. This is a big old 1-inch thick piece of cypress. I had at one time went down to South Georgia to one of the mills down there and bought a several hundred board feet. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was like 500 board feet because it was cheaper, and it was cheap. And I did that. In fact, Jeff, my son-in-law, worked for a rental company, a car rental company, and I rented a truck from him, a big box truck, and took it down there and bought it from the mill directly. I made a lot of outdoor furniture out of it, like Adirondack chairs and a porch swing that we have in the back. So, as Norm Abrams would say, it's time for some assembly. Obviously, this is not a flat board, but this is relatively flat. Not exactly. An ideal size for the floor of a bluebird house, and this is what I'm primarily making it for, other birds might nest in it, is 4 by 5. So that's exactly what this size is going to be. I had to cut these down. They were actually 5.5. But I've cut them down to 5, and I'm going to be putting them on the inside of this box right here. That looks right. I'm going to be using 2-inch screws, and I'm going to pre-drill the holes. And I'm going to use Tite Bond 3 glue. This is actually food safe once it's dry, so I'm not concerned about it harming the birds. That is way too much. And hit the hole. This board is not nearly as straight as the other one, so I've got to kind of eyeball it here. So both of these 1-inch pieces are a bit bowed, but I cut that there. But I need some drainage in the bottom anyway, so I'm going to cut this right here. This is the side I want. This is the waste side. And see how it fits after that. That's not a bad fit. In fact, that's a really good fit. I want to recess it up here a little bit so that the water will drain off of here and not go and ruin this. But right now I'm going to cut the corners off of this to give it some drainage. This tool is called Twist Lock, and it was on sale at one of those bargain bins. It's actually the first time I've ever used it. I've had it several years, and it's handier than I thought it might be. All right. Now, before I put the door on, this is 1 1/8 up here, and I want to put some scores in this for the baby birds to climb out. I'll do that at my miter saw. Yeah, this board just rocks way too much for me to put my hand up there. So that $1 million stick or $2 million stick, whatever it is, Alyssa gave that to me for Christmas one year. All right, that's where that goes. And here are my leather hinges. Before I put these leather hinges back on, I'm going to put some neat's foot oil on them. We have horses and saddles, and every once in a while you have to give that a treatment. Neat's foot oil is just really good. It penetrates here and will rejuvenate this leather, make it last several more years. This leather's been out there for 5 years now, and it's still very pliable. I want it to be tight. All right, let's get a roof on this. It needs to be at least 6 inches by 8 inches. This is a piece of cypress as well. It looks like it's had some brackets on it or something, but look at that. I like that. I'll probably drill some ventilation holes up here as well. Well, there it is. It's been raining cats and dogs all day. I'm going to go ahead and tighten some more of these up. The battery on my drill is about dead. But another rendition. Hopefully we'll get some break in the weather tomorrow and I can set this out. I'll continue it then. So I have a tree stake from Lowe's. I love these things. They're treated. They're straight. Most of them pick through them. They're 2 inches around and 8 feet long, and they have a point down at the bottom. They're tree stakes, but I love them. I'm going to try to pound this one in. Boy, the ground feels hard here. Good to step back once in a while and see how straight you're driving it. I'd like to go about 3 or 4 more inches. Oh, that's heavy. I think that'll work. It's not going to come out. So here's the guard. I need to show you what I've done here. These are actually 2 guards. One had a big chunk taken out of it. I don't know where it went. The other cracked. These are about 3 years old and they're just brittle, I guess. So what I've done here, I don't want to add more waste to the dump. So I taped this one and glued it. And then I glued the other pieces to this crack. And I used, what did I use? Gorilla Clear Glue. And that's what I'm going to use for the guard. So the first thing I'll do is put this over here and get my birdhouse. I have a couple of 2.5-inch screws. I'm going to get them started here. I've read in a couple different sources that it's best to have these bluebird houses facing the east, and that's right over my shoulder here. I want it to be about 6 feet tall, and I think there's a little hole here that I want to try to get that at the bottom. Getting it started here is going to be tricky, I know that. I know that for a fact. Oh, that wasn't too bad. It's pretty straight right there. Go ahead and close it back up. So now I can bring the guard back up. I'm going to put 4 screws in this, one on each, I guess I could say, each quadrant or each side. Well, here it is. I'll keep you posted if anything starts living in it. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment.